We're going to be heading up to the mountains to check out the CU Snowboard Club.
We caught up with Shane Harris-Tunks to talk a little life and basketball.
And a little bit later on, we'll be checking out women's tennis. Stay tuned because Sports Mag is coming up now.
Week's edition of CU Sports Mag. I'm Matt Hanlon alongside Kai Cummings. And Kai, this is a great show we got. We got some, what?
We got some snowboarding. We have a little bit of women's tennis like you saw a little bit earlier. But,
yeah, and some basketball, so let's get right to it.
Absolutely.
It's a tale of two cities when you play #1 Kansas at home versus on the road. And the men's basketball team learned that the hard way. The wheat waved and the Buffs couldn't find a rhythm against the highly touted Jayhawks in Allen Fieldhouse. All-Americans Cole Aldrich and Sharon Collins led the way and were 2 of 5 with Jayhawks that scored in double figures. Alec Burks, who didn't play in the first game against Kansas, led the way with 17 points. In the end, Jayhawks were too much to handle, blowing out the Buffaloes 94-74. Later in the week, the Buffs went on to play Mizzou in Columbia.
The men's basketball team added one more to their 9-game losing streak on the road when they played Missouri last Wednesday at the Mizzou Arena. Corey Higgins led the team in scoring for the 15th time this season with 21 points, but the final score of 92-63 was CU's biggest defeat this season. Coach Bizdella commented on his team's defense, noting that they lacked energy and needed to recover more quickly. The Buffs will try to redeem themselves when they play Iowa State this Saturday at home, looking to add a 4th Big 12 victory to the record.
We have our very own sports guy here, Andy McDonald. We're going to talk a little basketball.
Thanks,
Keep going.
We are, Andy. Starting off on the right foot, let's talk about this season's MVP. Who do you think kind of molded themselves into that position?
Well, this season my MVP is none other than Corey Higgins. He's the undisputed leader of this team. He's played and started every single game of his career. He has that smooth, laid-back style with that silky stroke coupled with the tenacity to finish on the interior. He's a tough player to guard. He's averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 2.5 assists a game. He may be quiet, but his play definitely walks the walk.
All right, Andy. Well, looking forward to next season. Who should we keep an eye on?
Next season, I want to keep an eye on Alec Burks. He's my player to watch. He's a great player, as we've seen this year. But we forget he's still a freshman. He's averaging 16 points a game, which is second behind only Chauncey Billups on CU's freshman scoring list. What makes him so good is he can get to the rim at will and finish with finesse or authority, whichever is needed. This kid has a lot of potential, and I can't wait to see what he does in the future.
All right, so now we have our MVP, and we have someone to look forward to next year. But talking about that diamond in the rough, per se, that hidden gem, who's going to be that guy next year to step up?
My hidden gem is Nate Tomlinson. Being the point guard, he runs the team on the court and dishes the ball, averaging 4 assists this season as a sophomore. He's pass first, but he can also shoot the ball, shooting 42% from beyond the arc. But as a point guard, his main job is to get everybody else involved, and with the returning talent, that won't be hard to do. The national title doesn't seem to be in the cards this year, although there is still a slight chance. With a few games remaining, the Buffs look to use them as a springboard into next year, a successful year.
All right, perfect, Andy.
Well, thank you, Andy. And we got a little information on what's going on at the rec center and what you can and can't do on the high dive. All right, CU Rec Center is known for offering countless opportunities, but one such opportunity has recently been revoked. Diving off a board 9 feet in the air is a thrill. Now many students visiting the rec center won't be able to experience the feeling. When the members of the rec center have their cards swept right on, they may be surprised to learn what they will not be allowed to use the diving boards this year. The high dive is restricted to students involved in clubs such as skiing, snowboarding, and of course diving. CU decided to restrict the 3-meter boards for safety reasons. They're following in the footsteps of schools like Ohio State and Northern Colorado. The Rec Center's Associate Director of Facilities helped in the decision-making process.
No other schools are having recreational use of 3-meter boards, we would be negligent to allow someone to get injured.
Yep, for uncertified CU students, the water under the high dives will look just as still as the boards above it.
All right, well, that's kind of some sad news for some of those lucky divers out there, but the University of Colorado's women's tennis team earned their 6th victory of the season this Saturday against the University of Denver. Coming off 2 straight match victories, CU won 6-1 at the Millennium Indoor Courts in Boulder. Senior Melissa Esposito and Camila Bellassi won their doubles match 8-4, moving Esposito to 4th all-time in CU history for doubles wins. Junior Abby Robert also won in 2 straight sets, solidifying the Colorado victory. The Buffaloes hope to continue their winning spree this Saturday, March 6th, against the University of Northern Colorado.
Our own Matt Sewick explains the low graduation rates for athletes here at CU.
And Ron and Christine will be tapping in for the Olympic Games, so stay tuned.
No, I am not, man. Dude, I dropped my phone. Oh, the road. Whoa. Okay.
How would you like to save your life from an ugly, reckless driving death? Don't answer yet. There's more. Act now by slowing down, and we'll guarantee you complete satisfaction.
That's awesome.
In the real world, there is no spokesperson to prevent reckless driving. There's only you. Speak up.
Whoa, Andy, slow down.
Playing one of its best shooting games of the season still wasn't enough for the women's basketball team to pull off a win against Nebraska on Saturday. The Buffs lost their 8th straight game with Huskers, 89-73. But on the more positive side, Colorado hit a season-high 15 three-pointers, its most ever on the road. Junior Brittany Spears had 26 points, including a career high of 6 three-pointers. The Buffs pulled the Huskers' lead down to 5 on 6 different occasions in the second half, but couldn't defend enough of their rebounds to make a comeback. Coach Miller says she felt the score did not reflect the passion and the energy of her team's battle. However, this same effort paid off for the Buffs later in the week. The women's basketball team snapped their 8-game losing streak against the Missouri Tigers on Tuesday. The match was a nail-biter as the Buffs pulled off an overtime 80-79 win. Freshman Megan Malcolm Peck made a layup with 55 seconds left to win the game. Junior Brittany Spears lit up the offense with a season-high 34 points to capture her 22nd career double-double. Senior Bianca Smith also went into double digits with 6 three-pointers to a total 26 points. The Buffs now prepare to host Texas A&M on Saturday at 2 p.m.
The women's basketball team had an impressive overtime win over Missouri this week. One of the key players in that victory was senior Bianca Smith. She scored 26 points from the field and landed 8 three-pointers for her performance. She is this week's Athlete of the Week.
What was the dynamic in the locker room after the team rallied to beat Mizzou in overtime on Tuesday?
It was crazy. We were jumping up and down, throwing water on each other, singing I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas. It was insane. We were really excited to get a victory.
What was the most important factor that helped the team bring home a victory?
I think it was our perseverance and our heart. I think we fought through in the last 7 minutes of the game. We started out slow, but I think we had a lot of heart and a lot of mental toughness to finish out the game strong.
Second free throw good. Buffs by 1. Right side. Smith for 3. Good again. She is smoking tonight.
Just to play to win. I try to put the records in the back of my mind because I want our team to do well and make it to postseason. So I just try to go out and put my personal success and records behind me and just try to play well for the team.
He's backing down in the lane. Threads a bouncer to Smith. Right side 3. Up and in with 1 on the shot clock.
Hopefully people remember me as a great teammate and a great ambassador for the university, and just a great player and a good three-point shooter, I guess. Hi, I'm Bianca Smith, CU Sports Magazine's Athlete of the Week.
What would you like more than anything after an intense workout? How about a long workout homework session? Reporter Matt Sewick gave us the details of what being a student athlete is all about.
It may be hard to imagine that these athletes are also students. For many of the public, the term student athlete seems more like an oxymoron.
There are a lot of people that feel that student athletes are dumb jocks.
I mean, every day when I'm in class and kids will be like, oh, you're on the football team? Why are you in this business class? Like, how'd you get that score on the test?
And being a full-time student and a Division I athlete fills out most of their day.
It's hard just being tired from morning practice, 7 a.m. practices, and then having to go to all your classes and then get everything done for the test the next day when you still have practice in the morning.
And on top of that, you got to put in your own hours watching film, doing extra work. So I'd say it's probably 30, 40 hours. So it's close to a full-time job.
National athletic graduation rates have reached an all-time high, surpassing average graduation rates for the first time. But here at CU, athletic graduation rates have actually reached an all-time low, being as low as 44% this last year.
And our goal, number one goal, is for the student athletes to graduate. And that's what we want for them. But we can't do that for them. So they have to have that desire, they have to have that will, they have to be willing to participate in their educational process.
But is there just too much on their plate to get everything done and ultimately affecting their education?
When you get home from practice, like, you do not want to do something, and there's definitely times that I've done that where it's just like, well, I'm going to go to bed, I can do this later.
There's no remedial courses, there's no activity courses, so they have to do the work that all of the students are doing.
Some athletes, like Kelly, have had to consider different majors because of the time commitment to her sport.
I mean, I've definitely put thought into education at first, and you have to do a lot of community service and all of that to do that major. And it's just gone through my head because the only time I'd be able to do that was the weekends, and in the fall we don't have weekend time at all.
However, many student athletes find balancing athletics and academics to be a rewarding experience and see many skills come from it.
You're learning so many skills, how to be a good teammate, how to focus, how to manage your time, how to communicate to the media. All of those things that a student athlete goes through is preparation for their next position, their next job when they're leaving campus.
The role of a student athlete is very time intensive and can restrict the bounds of academics for many. But the proper balance can give those athletes skills to use in everyday life.
I mean, it's a big commitment, but it's worth it.
Matthew Seawick, CU Sports Mag.
Shovels off. Hornbuckle layup is up and good.
With the Winter Olympics up in Vancouver in full swing,
Ron and Christine are on the double team set, ready to break it down for us. Take it away, guys.
Hello and welcome to the double team set. I'm Ron Knaumbauer alongside Christine Corrado. Now, usually we talk about CU sports here, but we're going to mix it up. We're going to talk about the Olympics. And Christine, the big story here today, the United States men's hockey team going to the gold medal game.
Yeah, the U.S. killed Finland today. They scored 6-1. It was just like crazy game. They just completely destroyed Finland.
Not just that, they scored 6 goals in the first period. 6 goals in the first 13 minutes of that first period, nonetheless. So, big win for the United States. They'll be playing the winner of Slovakia-Canada later tonight. If Canada does beat the Slovaks, then a rematch of last Sunday's game, a classic 5-3 win for the United States, and a rematch of the 2002 gold medal game back in Salt Lake City with them losing to the Canadians. That was their first gold medal in 50 years for them. So that all depends on if Canada wins tonight over Slovakia. Another possible, did happen, a United States-Canada matchup last night in women's ice hockey in the gold medal game. What happened there?
What happened was Canada beat the U.S. 2-0, and it was really kind of unpredictable. The U.S. was doing so well before that, and then all of a sudden Canada comes in and just kills the U.S. Canada had Mary Philippe Poulin score 2 goals. She's doing really well for Canada. It was just a little disappointing.
I would say disappointing is the right word. I wouldn't even say destroying because we only lost 2-0, but still being shut out in the Olympics when we beat China at 12-1, Russia at 13-0, 6-0 over Finland, 9-0 over Sweden in the semi. So we are blowing out our opponents. Then to not score a goal, it's very shocking. And
it is shocking.
I mean, congrats to the Canadian team. They win another gold medal in women's ice hockey.
Yeah, it's their 3rd straight Olympics that they won. So good for them.
Good for them. The 2 best teams definitely played in the championship game. Mm-hmm. Now from the rink, we go to the slopes. Lindsey Vonn. What happened? She didn't finish in slalom today. Not a good Olympics for her, but even though she did come out with 2 medals.
Yeah, she came out with a gold for downhill and a bronze for the Super G. You know, she's just having a lot of injuries. She's had a shin injury. She cracked the base for her right pinky. She's had back injuries. She's a really good athlete, but just those injuries just, you know, not making her do well.
I mean, and the injuries do hurt an athlete, and coming into these games, it's all about the injuries, what's going to happen to her, and it's, yeah, she won 2 medals, she won the gold in the downhill, but still disappointing when this athlete hadn't lost a race pretty much all the winter season until the last couple of weeks, and then only come out with 2 medals. It's a disappointing finish for her. Now we also go to skiing, ski jumping, and cross-country skiing, the Nordic combined. Big wins for the U.S. in these Olympics.
Right. Bill DeMong from the U.S. won the first ever gold medal for the U.S. for the Nordic combined. You know, he did really well. He started off 6th place, just caught up really quickly, and just did really amazing for the U.S.
Not just that, his teammate Johnny Spillane, 2 silvers, both in the Nordic combined. And Johnny Spillane's silver was the first medal the United States had ever won in the Nordic combined, only their 3rd in a Nordic sport. Real quick, Christine, is curling a sport?
I do think curling is a sport. How about you, Ron?
I think it's a sport as well. That's all the time we have for Double Team. We'll send it back to the desk.
Thanks, guys. A little bit later, Luke Rosemeyer hits the slopes as he shreds the gnar with CU's club snowboard team.
And we have that weekly trivia question for all you Buff fans, so stay glued to the tube and we'll be right back.
Normally, skiers head strictly downhill, but the CU Nordic team skied to victory on nearly flat ground in last weekend's Nevada Invitational. The men's side posted 5 top 10 performances, with Matt Gelso leading the herd, finishing in 44 minutes and 27 seconds. The women's team commanded their 15-kilometer course, taking the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place positions.
The Alpine ski team also posted great times in slalom competition of the Invitational. Although the team struggled in their initial runs, they came back speeding back to take the team championship top spot. Junior Katie Hartman shined for the Buffs, finishing in 6th place, while fellow junior Gabrielle Rivas placed 2nd. Overall, the Nordic and Alpine team scores combined for a total of 913.5 points. After this Invitational, both teams have a great deal of momentum skiing into the heart of the season.
Luke Rosemeyer spent 2 days with the club snowboarding team as they hit the park at Breckenridge and the backcountry of Winter Park. Luke, take it away.
Here at Sports Mag, we spend most of our time talking about Division I sports like football, basketball, or soccer. However, everybody knows that the most popular sport at CU is snowboarding, so I spent a couple days with CU's own club snowboarding team to see what they were all about.
Day 1 didn't get off to such a hot start as the team van broke down before we even made it past Table Mesa. Coach Pat did all he could do, but on this day there was no fix and we had to find carpools up to Breckenridge. Once we got there, we headed straight for the park, and these riders showed me what 5 days of practice a week can do for your snowboard skills. On my second day with the team, we headed to Backcountry Paradise, Jones Pass. It can get pretty dangerous up there, so Coach Pat gave us some important avalanche safety tips.
If it's me that's buried, somebody's got to take control, and they got to be the person in charge. You can't have 5 people in charge at once. Because the way the signal's sent out, it's sent out like this, there could be dead spots, and that's why you're always like waving it back and forth.
Well, after a day at Breckenridge and a day in the backcountry, it's safe to say that the CU snowboard team takes their shredding seriously. From 12,000 feet, I'm Luke Rosenmeyer, CU Sports Mag.
With the Buffs basketball team reaching the home stretch of their season, this week's trivia question is about one of the team's outstanding young stars. With 13 points against Missouri on Wednesday, freshman Alec Burks moved into 3rd place on CU's all-time freshman scoring list. Who holds the record for most points in a season by a freshman?
I have absolutely no idea on that one, but on deck we have our weekly weather report.
And I know you are anxious for that trivia answer, so stay tuned.
Emergency situation. We don't have extra. We have a little bit of water and a little bit of food. A meeting place, no.
No.
I don't think we have the first aid kit. We have tuna fish, we have beans, we have canned tomatoes,
True.
you know.
That's true, but that's really not survival food. Tomato paste.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It wasn't too long of a wait, but now it is time that you all have been waiting for. The answer to this week's trivia question. Who holds the record for most points in a season by a freshman? And the answer is none other than Richard Roby during his 2004-2005 season, where he scored 480 points for the Buffaloes as a freshman.
The Olympic hockey tournament is in full swing. Our own Andrew Gillis went down to the CU Rec Center to see what students know about hockey rules and take it away, Andrew.
With Olympic hockey coming to a close and both the JV and varsity ice hockey teams going to nationals, we decided to take man on the street to the ice. What is icing?
When it goes past all the way, past 2 blue lines.
Making ice. The stuff you put on top of cakes. I don't know.
When you shoot the puck down the ice on your side of the red line without the other team touching it.
What is a power play?
When one guy goes from that end to this end and scores. A good play. One where you score. It's when the other team has somebody in the penalty box, so you have more people.
What is the 5-hole?
I have no idea. The 5-hole is the person who sits right in front of the goal. A spot on the ice? Somewhere?
5-hole is the area between the goalie's legs. What is used to resurface the ice?
A Zamboni.
Zamboni.
One of those like driving truck things.
Who is the only CU team to have beaten CSU this year?
Hockey.
While many scored with the right answers, others deserve to go to the penalty box. For CU Sports Mag, I'm Andrew Gillis.
Former CU women's soccer player Michelle Winino is going international. The standout defender announced she is leaving the Chicago Red Stars of women's professional soccer to play for the SC Freiburg in Germany. For the 2009 season, Winino was on Chicago's developmental squad and played in only one game. But as a Buff, Winino walked on as a freshman and later became team captain her senior year. She was a two-time All-Big 12 Conference pick and the 2008 Big 12 Co-Defensive Player of the Year. Winino will be joining the SC Germany team at their midseason.
Here at Sports Mag, we have a continuing series profiling freshman athletes. This week, we caught up with freshman center Shane Harris-Tunks.
Harris-Tunks with 8 out of the bucket. Tunks head fake.
I'm from Sydney, Australia,
Gives up inside.
and I'm a center for CU basketball. Mainly the athleticism of the guys. In Australia, there's 1 or 2 guys on every team that's really athletic, but in the Big 12, everyone on the opposing team's athletic. Mainly the coaching staff and where the program's at. We're still in a building phase. We're all learning together and moving forwards as one, and they really wanted me to come in and develop me to be better, and they need me to be better, and I want to be better. He was just another benefit of coming to CU. I know a lot of Australians that are out here. You can pick, between probably 30 different schools and go with another Australian. Well, the most different thing is definitely the weather. Just experiencing snow. Like, it's snowing outside right now, so we don't get that where I'm from.
We're going to go quick to weather here. Matt Seawick is in the studio, and he's going to give you a brief look into it.
Thanks, guys. We've seen a significant amount of cloud coverage and some snow this week. I'll give you the forecast to see if we have any this weekend. Looking at the national map, last night we did see some cloud coverage and some snow, but this stationary front will actually bring in some clear skies with this high pressure system that should be bringing some nice weather for Friday and Saturday. Over on the west coast, there is a cold front that will bring all this moisture into Colorado. We should see some snow coverage on Sunday. Looking at the local forecast in Boulder, Friday around 41 degrees. That high pressure system will make it around 47 on Saturday. Beautiful day. I would definitely suggest getting outside. The night isn't too bad, dipping into the high 20s, not too bad. We also will have some light showers, snow showers on Sunday. The Rockies will be playing the Arizona Diamondbacks for the first spring opener next Thursday at Tucson Electric Park. Should be around 68 degrees there, some cloud coverage, so it will be a beautiful day. Hopefully they'll have a sunset like this that night. The Colorado ski slopes have been getting a significant amount of snow, 70-inch base in Breckenridge, the highest in Colorado, but 0 inches for Breck and Eldora in the past 24 hours, with Winter Park and Vail leading the past 24 hours with 2 to 3 inches. Now, also, the Olympics have been going on the past 2 weeks, and we're in the last weekend, home stretch. The U.S. are competing in snowboarding, the short track, and the U.S. Hockey team are actually trying to get in that final spot for the championship. It should be pretty rainy all weekend, but around the low 50s, so it shouldn't be too bad. I would definitely suggest that you should go outside on Saturday. Definitely take advantage of this nice day in the winter.
Thanks for watching CU Sports Mag. Come back next week.